Hello, hello. Glad you could join me. Real Talk with Mo. Um, this one's gonna be a reaction video. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Also, check me out on the Lou and Mo podcast. We got some good things coming up for the new year. Also, www.cblifestyleapparel.com. Again, this is from the Lapeef show. I love the atmosphere. I love the way it's set up. Men, women, everybody can comment. I like more real action stuff instead of sometimes it's just somebody talking, and I love to see just getting different opinions from different viewpoints, and it kind of if there's a point to be made, it either expresses it or it'll get a conversation started about certain things. And I love the Lapeef show. I think it's great. You should check it out. Subscribe. I'm a member. It's a great show. I love it. But they have some topics to talk about. I love to get involved in some of those topics, to bring them up in my world too. So I'm gonna just react to this one, and then we'll go from there. All right.
That will say, yo, I'm not going there because I'm not supporting a business.
But it was talking about black-owned businesses. And if you've never been to the Peace Show, I think I'm blocking out one of the people too, which I don't want to do. Yeah, I'll be right here then. So it's about black-owned businesses and labeling yourself a black-owned business and how that can affect you. But they talk about a bunch of different topics. That's why I say it's a great show to watch, when you can, get all these different viewpoints and stuff. So let me go on.
Just because it's black owned, I'm rocking with a business because it has great products. If it just so happened to be owned by black people, cool. But that's not the reason that I'm going there. It's probably the biggest mistake that you can probably make as far as labeling yourself anything. I don't care what it is. I'm woman owned, I'm man owned, I'm black owned, whatever. I want everybody to patronize me because
Yes, yeah, I have a problem with that too. I think you try to label it, people try to label it so that they can, so that they get a certain appeal. But I think sometimes in the end, it doesn't help you. It might not even really hurt you, but it doesn't really help you at the end of the day, because people don't really care about that. At the end of the day, if your food is nasty, if your product is shitty, if anything is, they're just not gonna come back to you. They might go to you that first time and use you, and you might get that first batch of people that are coming in. But after a while, you're gonna get reviews. Everything else is gonna go through, and you're gonna this with any business, you're gonna end up not being profitable anymore.
money doesn't have a color. So if you're in business and business is supposed to be to make money, and this is the difference between people that open up a business and people that understand business, right? When you open up a business, you only create another job for yourself. And when you limit or you remove the opportunity from people that may see things differently, but was able to see based off of the product that you're selling, that's a completely different conversation. All right, y'all. Moving right into our first topic of the night, man.
So if you never saw it before, they do like a little recap of what's gonna be in the show. These are like short videos of it, like 9 minutes, not even like the whole show. But then they go backwards and you'll see the rest of the video.
And this is I know what it says on the thumbnail, but I kind of like to open it up a little bit, get us warmed up before we get into the meat of the conversation. So our first topic of the night is, does labeling your business black owned help or hurt the business? Does labeling your business black owned help or hurt the business? Start with you, Kay.
I'm not sure from like a actual data standpoint, but just like in my opinion, I would say that I've had this conversation before. I think that it depends on the business, really. I think that especially nowadays, I think labeling it black owned could be very beneficial for people's businesses. So I would say for the most part, it's not going to hurt it. Not now.
Really? You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Okay, interesting. I got to feel like we're going to have some different opinions about this.
See, my thought on that is I've watched the show a few times. So once you watch the show a few times, you see where everybody stands in certain situations, or where everybody mind is kind of at. And I've seen Kayla, I've seen Kay, I've seen Q, Like I talking like I know them, but I've seen them on the show. Rilla, Anton, I kind of know where he stands on everything, Lapeef and stuff. And then they had some other beta dude named Nix, which I always joke about that. But so I know where they stand. So when they start saying stuff, you kind of can know. And the whole point of like I get what she's saying in this era because I would think the same way because like right now to get business loans and stuff like that, if you say you're black owned or primarily minority or whatever, you can get better loans, you can get better you get better like not reviews, but you get better situated in certain businesses because the government or the city or whatever you're in is going to help you out with that. So I can see that part of what she's saying. But again, I think if you do look at statistics, it probably doesn't help. But see, again, this is when you're talking about logic or you're talking about just, have you researched it or what? Which I haven't, but I'm pretty sure if you research it, it would. I think it would go that route.
Kayla, what do you say about it? Does labeling your business black owned help or hurt the business?
This is a good question. It could hurt it. It could help it. I think it depends on the business. I think it depends on in what capacity you are toting that you're black owned, because you can just label it as black owned, but that doesn't mean that like through your marketing, every time you do some form of marketing, it's like black owned, black owned, black owned. You could just like be black owned, but there are businesses that like that's a part of their marketing strategy to let people know that they're black owned. So depending on how you do that could depend on if it helped or hurt it, and also like what industry it's in. So for like food and like I don't know, it just depends on the industry. In certain industries, I do think it.
Yeah, but when you're talking about growing, like becoming like a big, becoming a big business, becoming like something that everybody's gonna use, I just don't see it as helping you. I just don't see it. And because there's not too many businesses you can name now that would come out and just say they're black owned and be like a major player in anything or doing something major. You have to get away from that eventually because you got to be universal. You got to be able to, for everybody to come to your business. And most of the time, most other minorities don't do that. Like you don't see Spanish owned businesses, you don't see Asian owned businesses, you don't see even though certain businesses are if you go to a Chinese food store, you're not gonna really think it's owned by. It could be owned by somebody else, but most of the time you're gonna say it's owned by Asians, somebody who's Asian or Chinese, if it's Chinese or if it's Japanese food, whatever it is. So, but you don't have to. There's no like. You don't have to know that. Like you don't have to. That's not something you go there. You be like, I'm gonna go there because I'm supporting Asian-owned businesses or whatever. So, I just think that's the only thing that as far as with black people that we do, that doesn't help it. I don't think it hurts. I don't think it hurts too much, but I think it will hurt you in the long run. Like in the beginning, like I said, maybe not, but I think in the long run it will
hurt it because people will be then, I don't know, looking for discounts, assuming it's not going to have as good of service, things like that. So I don't know. It's a sticky question for me. I can't give a exact yes or no.
Okay, just a lot.
And I'll tell you for sure. Let me tell you. From watching the show, my opinion, like Kay and Kayla, there's certain things there's a lot of things that they don't have a specific answer, or they're like and I'm a person that like I stand on what I believe in. So when I come with an answer, it's something that I thought of, it's something that I've researched, and most of the time I'm gonna you gotta stand on it, right? You either stand for something, fall for anything. So I'm gonna stand on it, and a lot of times they don't really stand on it, which it is what it is. But just to tell you from experience.
Logic, coming to you next, Didi. Mr. Logic, does labeling your business black owned help or hurt the business? What are your thoughts?
It really depends on where you at. If you're in the black community, obviously it'll help. But if you in a non-black community, then I'm saying it'll play against you. But I say nowadays in our current.
See, even with him saying that, I disagree totally, right? Because I think in a I think you get hurt the same amount, right? In the black owned business, man, in the hood, like we don't care. Like in the hood, when I grew up, like it wasn't willing to go into places just because they were black owned, right? There was no, I don't remember any neighborhood I've been to where just because it was black owned, we went there. If it was good, it was good. If it was not, it's not. It wasn't a thing, right? Because most of the, you know what I mean? Like you just don't think about it, right? It's not something you think about. It's something that you like push towards. So I don't think it hurts you. And then, like I said, depends on if you're in like a real liberal like thing, and they want to, but then even then, it's gonna hurt you eventually because you're not gonna. It limits you. It just limits you on because of the reasoning why you're saying it. You gotta think about like, you know what I mean. Even if you was in like, and I'm in South Florida, so if you're in like, I want to say Parkland or something like that, and you have a black owned business, you're probably not gonna, you might grow for a little bit just because people are going to support you, just because there's a lot of like a liberal like um, that support shit like that they'll go out and they'll see a grand opening, blah blah blah, and then some of the black people there too also. But then what I mean, eventually it's just gonna die down unless you have a great business, right? And then it'll stay there. But I think it all depends. I don't think it. See, that's what I said. At the end of the day, I don't think it matters. I think it is something that you should, what I mean? Like I don't think it matters. I don't think you should even, you know, engage in it.
Environment. I think it's a win across the board. Right now, everybody is really on this support black and all that kind of stuff like that. So I think by labeling your business black, it gonna support across the board. My only thing is that if you get them black customers in there, you got to be able to break them stereotypes. But that's a sidebar. But yeah, I think it's it's a win. You just use it.
Okay, that's interesting. Miss Didi, does labeling your business black owned help or hurt the business?
I think it could help. I mean, I agree with Kayla and Kay in that sense. It depends on what product you're putting out there, and if it's a product that's geared towards women, I think it could be very lucrative to market it, as black owned, because of course you guys know women are the biggest consumers, especially when it's beauty related products or just anything really. So I think it might be a good thing to do that. It could be very profitable. I couldn't say for sure, but I do think that it could be, especially depending on the product and the way it's marketed.
Okay. Anton, see the smirk on your face, man. I got a feeling you're going to go the other way. Does labeling your business black owned help or hurt the business?
I believe that it is probably perhaps not only one of the biggest mistakes from business people, but I think it's probably the dumbest thing that you can possibly do from a business perspective. Why? Because first of all, I know black people that they don't think like that. Like, they're quiet, and there's a lot of people that like to divest themselves from people that try to use that as a marketing shtick. That's A. B, let me just dispel some myths. Let me cook for a minute. I've opened up businesses in predominantly black communities, right? And because I was visible, a lot of the people that rock with me came as a result of me, having some visibility online and stuff like that. But I will still say the overwhelming majority of the customers, and I mean at least 65% to 70% of the customers was still white, especially in 2021, 2022, because there are no, especially if you market your business effectively, location isn't even as important as we like to make it out to be. People will come to your business and chase your business. They will go out of their way if you have a good enough product. And so a lot of white people and Asians and a lot of different people, Arabic people, would come out of their way to come and patronize the business. And one of the things that they used to say to me is that I'm glad that you rock with everybody, because I would often say, and I've been saying for years, that I don't align myself with people based off of the color of your skin, but based off of the content of your character. So people would go out of their way and come all the way down into the black communities where I would open up businesses, and they would patronize it. And so people think that marketing it as black owned is a plus today because of what's promoted in the culture. But in reality, all you're doing is alienating customers. If you opening up a business,
Well, like I said, this is what I said before. Like, marketing it like that is one way, but now for loans, all these different things that are going on, government loans and even banks and stuff like that, saying that you're black owned does give you a head up, right? Because they're trying to do more minority empowerment and all this and other stuff, right? So it does give you that jump into it. But as far as marketing it, again, that's what I said. I don't agree with that part. I understand. That's what I wasn't saying. I think that's what Kate was saying earlier, was that saying it could get you, could get you that way. It can get you some loans, get you some advertisement, right? If they have like a spot in Cosmo or something, and it's like, we're gonna spotlight a black-owned business today, type of thing. If you black owned, then you can do that, right? You can say that, or if you label yourself that, they'll find you. So I can see that part of it. I'm saying, as far as you got, there's a limitation, I think, to it, as far as how hard you're pushing that. And as far as marketing and advertising, I think that can get a little, like I said, you can outcast some people. I mean, get rid, I guess the word is ostracize some people from your business, because you just keep labeling it, and that's your like main thing, instead of going off of what the product and what you're offering.
you're supposed to open up a business to sell to everybody. And if you think that everybody rocks with you based off of your beliefs mentally, all you're doing is starting to alienate people in a general sense. It's a reason why no other culture says, I'm Asian owned, or I'm white owned, or whatever. So on.
See, I didn't watch it, but that's why Anton, I always I ride with him, because there's certain things I would agree with, but there's a lot that I agree with him on. So I didn't even, this was, like I said, I didn't watch the show before.
So forth, because they want to sell to everybody. This is business 101. You don't alienate the customer. Number two, I know black people that will say, yo, I'm not going there because I'm not supporting a business just because it's black owned. I'm rocking with a business because it has great products. If it just so happened to be owned by black people, cool. But that's not the reason that I'm going there. It's probably the biggest mistake that you can probably make as far as labeling yourself anything. I don't care what it is. I'm woman owned, I'm man owned, I'm black owned, whatever. I want everybody to patronize me because money doesn't have a color. So if you're in business, and business is supposed to be to make money, and this is the difference between people that open up a business and people that understand business, right? When you open up a business, you only creating another job for yourself. And when you limit or you remove,
like I said, just like, subscribe, share, comment. Real Talk with Mo. The Lapeef Show, Let's Talk Show, is a great show. I catch a lot of episodes. I think I'm a member, I think, or something like that too. So, like I said, like, subscribe, share. Real Talk with Mo, Lou and Mo Podcast, www.cb Lifestyle and Apparel. And I'm going to see you on the next one. Y'all have a great day, afternoon, evening, whatever it is.